Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers and recaps indicate a battle of the blondes, a ruthless congressman threatens, and evidence is discovered that Camila Palmieri was never pregnant. Carly Spencer and Nina Reeves get into an argument, Drew Kane threatens, and Lulu Spencer proves Camila wasn't pregnant. Tracy Quartermaine and Lois Cerullo, Olivia Quartermaine, and Ned Quartermaine have a furious discussion at the Quartermaine estate about their unexpected gathering. Brooke Lynn Quartermaine and Jason Morgan make their entry, as Gio Palmieri surreptitiously listens. Their chat is about the increased tensions caused by the event involving Rocco Falconeri. As they ponder on what happened, Gio jumps in to convey his regret for his terrible judgments, seeking to regain their trust. Lois follows him into the lobby, where he demands that she and BLQ stop rationalizing his acts. Lois refuses to make excuses for him, recognizing that he has outgrown his childhood. He recounts how they helped him as an orphan and empowered him to be independent. He appreciates their previous care, but he no longer needs it. Dante Falconeri clearly dislikes him, and they can't change that. Meanwhile, in the main room, Ned is impressed by Joe's attempts to reconcile. Jason then departs. Dante and Sasha Corbin are talking in the kitchen about Rocco Falconeri. She says he's a lovely kid, as is Danny Morgan. Dante thinks that Danny is decent but may be impulsive, similar to Jason. They talk about Jason's character, noting that he loves his children but issues with discipline. Jason appears, prompting Dante to leave, and then a woman enters and hands Sasha a summons for the custody case. This makes her concerned that Willow may be aware that her kid is Michael Corinthos. Jason reassures her that this is unlikely. Sasha wonders how Rick Lansing believes she can help Willow's case, and Jason explains that lawyers contact a wide range of people. She adds Rick will be disappointed if he expects her to criticize Michael. Dante enters the main room and is told that he is being unduly harsh of Gio. He is surprised by how swiftly they defend him. Olivia points out that he was also a troublemaker at that age. Dante believes the actual issue is that everyone is just talking without doing anything. Brooke Lynn interrupts to remind him of the tough love he had growing up. Dante realizes that his mother's punishments were intended to help him develop. He assures BLQ that she will understand the importance of being strict with children once she has her own. Olivia then approaches Gio and Lois in the foyer. She expresses her admiration for him and hopes Dante will soon understand. Dante is only unhappy because he recognizes himself in Gio. In the stables, Cody Bell shares his doubts to Lulu regarding BLQ's assertion that Gio is her son. Lulu believes Camila lied about her pregnancy, pointing out that she was performing in New Zealand, while purportedly giving birth in Los Angeles. They decide they need to search down the other members of Camila's quartet for confirmation. As they do so, they discover that 2 of them have died. Lulu contacts the surviving cello player to discuss Camila's unexpected withdrawal from the tour without notice or explanation. This incident occurred in May 2003, prompting the cancellation of the New Zealand tour. It turns out Camila was never pregnant, and they receive a photo from that time as proof. In the Aurora office, Drew warns Curtis Ashford that if he is blackmailing Portia Robinson, it must be because of her illegal conduct, which might damage her job. Curtis is worried as Drew describes the potential crimes Portia has committed, and how disclosing them could ruin her life. This might potentially cause huge problems for the hospital, including a major lawsuit, and it could bankrupt Portia and her husband. Curtis rejects this suggestion, claiming that it will not change the scandal in which Drew is involved. He assures that he has everything under control, and that Aurora will cooperate soon. He exits and Curtis records the exchange. Outside, Drew calls Max Scorpio, stating that he knows who poisoned him. Nina arrives at Carly's house, and they have a furious disagreement about the custody hearing. Carly is determined to solve the issue immediately. Nina points out that the grandchildren are also hers and stresses that Carly cannot behave this way. Carly is convinced that Willow will never realize Drew for who he really is, and she feels compelled to safeguard her grandkids immediately. Nina accuses Carly of pretending to collaborate while really conspiring against her. They disagree on their aspirations for their children. Carly tells Nina that she is not a true mother and never will be, causing further friction. Nina refuses to lose another daughter, Although Carly says she would make sacrifices for her daughter if she were a decent mother. Nina finds it humorous coming from someone as self-centered as Carly. Later, Carly confronts Willow about her background in Nixon Falls, blaming her for being a bad mother. She believes Willow will blindly follow Drew, but Carly insists Willow is unable to be a mother. Nina notices this and Carly smacks her. They both grasp one another's arms, tumble across the couch, and continue to wrestle in a blonde blur. The wrestling encounter is about to turn even more savage. Nina is going to strike Carly with a scented candle when Jocelyn Jacks intervenes and stops her. Nina leaves in a huff, promising to do whatever it takes to stop Carly. While cleaning up, Carly discusses her plans to seek emergency custody in light of the ongoing Drew controversy. Jocelyn proposes that Carly inform Michael of her decision. Carly expresses anxiety that Michael may lose custody permanently, but she stays steadfast in her refusal to contact him, preferring to handle the problem on her own. Willow tells Sunny in the ball's rehearsal space that she wants to avoid a lengthy custody battle, but Michael insists on removing her children. Sunny admits that Carly has overreached and advises Willow to wait for Michael's return to negotiate a possible compromise. He emphasizes that Michael has stated that he does not desire complete custody. Willow, on the other hand, doubts his readiness to compromise, citing the fact that when she visited, he refused to meet with her. Sunny urges her to let the matter lie and request a delay until Michael can return to advocate for himself. She accepts this advice. Nina bursts in, her face bruised from the confrontation with Carly, and she is adamant about keeping the children. Willow claims that this event demonstrates the hopelessness of reaching an agreement with Carly. Driven by resolve, she insists that Rick step up his efforts and storms out. Nina and Sunny exchange passionate words about his ex-wife's instability. He cautions Willow that her frantic departure may jeopardize her custody of the children. Sunny confesses that he came to give Willow one last chance. If she loses her children, Nina must accept responsibility for it. General Hospital spoilers for Tuesday, May 20th hint to last-minute ball dates, unpleasant surprises, and a solution to a problem. Cody Bell gets a last-minute ball date, Alexis Davis gets an unwelcome surprise, and Anna Devane finds a solution to a problem. As the nurses' ball begins, attendees, including a llama, descend onto the red carpet with Drew Kane screaming, "It's going to be a wild night." Naturally, Lucy Coe is the one who walks the llama. Jen Sidwell and Jordan Ashford will arrive next. Soon after, Gio Palmieri and Jocelyn Jacks make their appearance together. According to GH spoilers, Lucy will soon be dealing with a crisis. Could it potentially involve the llama? Cody ends up with a last-minute ball date. But it's not really a date because he and Molly Lansing Davis are simply pals. He gestures with his arm and asks, "Would you like to walk with me?" She looks gorgeous in her flowing red gown. There are whispers that spectators might misunderstand Cody and Molly as a relationship, despite the fact that they are only a pair of pals. Others appear to perceive a connection between Cody and Molly that they have yet to acknowledge. Meanwhile, Molly's parents, Rick Lansing and Alexis, are visiting Alexis' house when she receives an unexpected shock. Rick appears to be the root of her displeasure, since she does not look pleased to see him. In fact, she warns him that he may not like how this issue unfolds, most likely referring to the blackmail involving him and Ava Jerome. They are not the only ones who know this secret. Alexis shared it with Lucky Spencer last week. Could this be one of the mysteries revealed during the nurses' ball? Dante Falconeri and Harrison Chase have arrived at the Quartermaine house dressed in tuxedos for the nurses' ball. Just then, Lulu Spencer makes a big entry, looking lovely and claiming she arrived just in time. Tracy and Ned Quartermaine are also dressed up, staring in awe at Dante and Chase as Lulu enters. Soon they'll be headed to the Metro Court for the ball, which promises to be full of surprising twists and turns. Backstage at the ball, Anna had a lightbulb moment and discusses her views with Felicia Scorpio, implying that she may have discovered a solution to their problem. Anna and Felicia appear to be coordinating on another secret mission. Numerous secret missions are taking place in Port Charles, and some local wrongdoers may soon face legal consequences. While it takes two to tango, Anna is probably not referring to the dance when she joins forces with Felicia. However, this time, someone other than Anna will take the lead on the dance floor. Another scene shows Chase being caught aback by an unexpected phone call, just as he gets at the ball. He should be sweeping Molly off her feet with a dance while Gio serenades them with his violin, but that plan may have been postponed. Surprised, he asks the caller, "You want me to what?" Could this call be related to Drew's recent talk with Max Scorpio, during which he disclosed that he remembered who had poisoned him? The tension in Port Charles had reached a boiling point, and the air was thick with unspoken rivalries, muttered threats, and an unwavering desire for retribution. The so-called Battle of the Blondes had grown from a trivial squabble to a full-fledged battle, with Drew at the heart of the storm issuing threats that shook the tightly knit community. Meanwhile, Lulu, ever the shrewd planner, had finally obtained the proof required to swing the tide in her favor. The stakes had never been higher, and the consequences threatened to be explosive. It all began with a seemingly innocent altercation between two of the city's most powerful blondes, Nina Reeves and Carly Corinthos. What started out as a verbal brawl about business practices and personal betrayals quickly escalated into something far more frightening. The two ladies had previously clashed, but this time, there was a tenacity to their feud that suggested neither would back down. The tension between them was apparent, attracting both supporters and adversaries, each taking sides in a struggle that threatened to consume everyone in its path. Nina, who was usually measured and exact, had spent months strategically positioning herself to weaken Carly's power. She had powerful allies, and her covert manipulation had gradually eroded Carly's authority over crucial areas of the Port Charles commercial environment. But Carly was no fool. She had established her empire through perseverance and sheer willpower. She realized Nina's threat, and was determined not to let her competitor take the upper hand. The two women played a hazardous game of chess, each move more brutal than the last, while the entire town watched in anticipation. Enter Drew Kane. Drew, once a voice of reason, had been tested to the limit. The betrayals he had faced, the secrets withheld from him, and the relentless manipulation by those he had trusted had hardened him. Drew was no longer a mediator. He had become a wild card, unpredictable and deadly. When he learned of Nina and Carly's increasing disagreement, he saw an opportunity, not to mediate but to exploit. He had his own scores to pay, and if their battle offered him the necessary leverage, so be it. Drew's warnings were not idle. He possessed damaging information that, if disclosed, could endanger lives. He made it plain that he wasn't scared to use it, delivering veiled threats in discussions and making Nina and Carly aware that he had the ability to ruin them. His motivations were obscure, but his message was clear. Cross him, and there will be consequences. The once respected hero had become a shell of his former self, consumed by a bitterness that even those closest to him struggled to comprehend. As Drew's warnings loomed over the battle, Lulu Falconeri worked behind the scenes, piecing together the jigsaw that had occupied her for months. Lulu had always been persistent, a virtue passed down from her mother, but this time her drive bordered on obsession. She had been digging, pursuing leads, and requesting favors, all in search of one thing: proof. Proof of the falsehoods, betrayals, and secret intentions that had divided her family. And then, after what seemed like a lifetime, she got it. The evidence Lulu discovered was explosive. It connected dots that others had overlooked, revealing a labyrinth of deception involving some of Port Charles's most influential figures. With this proof in hand, Lulu had the ability to demolish the carefully crafted facades of those who had harmed her. But the question remained: what would she do with it? Would she use it to pursue justice, or would she wield it like a weapon like Drew did? The Battle of the Blondes was no longer limited to Nina and Carly. It had turned into a broad struggle, involving Drew's vendettas and Lulu's search for the truth. The distinction between comrade and enemy became blurred as each participant fought for power. Friendships were tested, loyalties were called into doubt, and trust became an unaffordable luxury. As the tension rose, Port Charles residents prepared for the inevitable explosion. Whispers filled the halls of the Metro Court, rumors traveled through the hospital corridors, and even the normally unshakable figures in the police department appeared on edge. Everyone knew something major was coming, but they didn't sure who would be left standing when the dust fell. Drew's threats grew louder, his once subtle insinuations becoming outright declarations of war. He had made it clear that he was no longer interested in following the rules, and those who stood in his way would suffer the consequences. His change from hero to adversary sent shockwaves across the neighborhood, leaving former comrades scurrying to get away before being caught in the crossfire. Meanwhile, Lulu's finding weighed heavily on her. She had spent so long searching for the truth, but now that she had it, the responsibility felt overwhelming. Revealing what she knew would upend everything. Relationships would crumble. General Hospital spoilers for the next 3 weeks, May 19th to June 6th, predict that Michael Corinthos will have the opportunity to make a daring move, and Sonny Corinthos' adversary may discover that they cannot hide forever. Lucy Coe will also have an emergency, so let's talk about the Port Charles chaos. The week of May 19th to 23rd will see Sasha Gilmore Corbin's terror at Rick Lansing's demand that she appear in court. With custody of Michael's children at issue, Sasha is concerned that the truth about her pregnancy will be revealed. Jason Morgan will not be pleased with this outcome either, but he does not want Sasha to leave. Sasha and Jason believe they have taken precautions, so he may believe they only need to stick to their paternity deception plan and hope for the best. Nina Reeves and Carly Spencer's argument will escalate, as Sonny pleads with Willow Corinthos to postpone the hearing. The nurses' ball will ultimately begin, so expect Nina and Drew to be stuck hosting the red carpet as a team. Lucy will have to cope with an issue that puts the festivities in peril, but we are confident that she will find a solution in the end. The nurses' ball typically features outstanding performances, and this year's gala will be no different. There will be an amazing performance by musical talent YDE, but another surprise guest will come before the event ends. Of course, the nurses' ball will be plenty of drama, since it will serve as the setting for a dramatic tale conclusion. The revelation of Giovanni Gio Palmieri's true parentage should take place while the celebration is still going on. Lulu Spencer and Cody Bell will continue to search for hard evidence, and one or both of them may be responsible for blowing everything up once they find it. Brooke Lynn Quartermaine and Dante Falconeri will be surprised to learn that Gio is their adult son. Dante will be astounded to learn that Brooke Lynn has kept her pregnancy and adoption a secret from him for nearly 2 decades. Brooke Lynn will undoubtedly have an emotional reaction to Gio being the child she abandoned all those years ago. Brooke Lynn will notice Lois Cerullo's silence about this arrangement and will undoubtedly be upset. Meanwhile, Christina Corinthos Davis is about to face a harsh surprise. There will be some alarming discoveries about Alexis Davis and what she has been hiding. Christina will most likely discover that Ava Jerome and Rick Lansing have collaborated on a blackmail scheme that has put Alexis in a difficult situation. Christina may end up in prison if Alexis continues to break the rules. Back with Carly, she'll meet Vaughn for the first time and may think he's Jocelyn Jack's type of guy. Jason also has an unusual phone call coming up that may help him solve a case. Someone suspicious will call Jason. Will this person know who is targeting Sonny? GH teasers indicate that Jason will take use of any information he learns between May 26th and May 30th. It's critical to figure out who is behind the attacks on Sonny as soon as possible, because he's still trying to escape out of the mafia. Sonny can't make a deal with Jen Sidwell for the Piers until he's convinced Sidwell isn't after him. Will Jason receive proof that points to Sidwell or in another direction? Emma Scorpio Drake will try to make Jocelyn pay for stealing her work and Professor Henry Hank Dalton's research assistant employment. Emma is unaware that Jocelyn is on a WSB mission and will do anything to obstruct her efforts. Jocelyn may play even dirtier with Vaughn's help, so stay tuned for more bad news for Emma. If Michael's divorce and custody hearing is not postponed, he might make a dramatic appearance between June 2nd and June 6th. Carly intends to fight for Michael in court, but what if Michael discovers what's going on and eventually struts in? This could be the ideal time for a Michael recast to make his first appearance, so keep that in mind. Michael might spend more time recovering at the clinic in Germany, but he may check himself out if he decides this is more important. Regardless, things could get ugly in the courtroom, especially if Rick discovers Sasha is pregnant with Michael's child and questions her about it on the stand. According to General Hospital spoilers, there will be some surprises and shakeups in PC, so stay into the ABC drama. Laura Lee Bell of The Young and the Restless has announced that she and other cast members will participate on Family Feud this summer. Excited fans hope to compete against General Hospital cast mates. It had been 25 years since she was on the show. Celebrity Family Feud host Steve Harvey keeps viewers entertained, and supporters of the competitors like that the victors get to contribute money to charity. Laura Lee commented on her Instagram post about the Y&R crew that it has been 25 years since her previous appearance on the show. The CBS daytime drama star posted a selfie of her squad. They featured Melissa Claire Egan, Michelle Stafford, Joshua Morrow, and Brighton James. Each of them held a placard that read, "And no feuding in this family." Laura Lee Bell's caption repeated the idea, saying, "We played at Family Feud app today, but there's no feuding in this family. Stay tuned for an air date this summer." Excited fans wanted more spoilers from the genuine Christine Williams, but she didn't give anything else away. However, she did mention in the comments that additional information will be released later. Of course, fans wanted to know who the Y&R cast would be competing against. Some fans hoped they would face off against The Bold and the Beautiful, while others speculated that it may be the stars of ABC's General Hospital. Nina visited Curtis' office to discuss giving Drew bad press. Curtis claimed that Portia convinced him not to publish any unfavorable pieces about Drew for fear of a lawsuit. "Portia knows better than anyone else what Drew has done to you. I don't understand why she wants you to go easy on him," she said. Curtis suddenly informed Nina of his suspicions and what Nina already knew. "Portia's being blackmailed," he explained. Nina didn't reveal her knowledge of the situation and asked Curtis why he thought his wife was being blackmailed. Curtis explained that all of Portia's unusual requests helped him reach this conclusion. "The only thing that makes sense is that Drew has leverage over her," Curtis told me. Curtis was astonished when Nina informed him that Willow's divorce court date was June 2nd. Drew has Willow believing that if she goes after Michael while he's out of the country receiving treatment in a burn unit, it will somehow end with her getting sole custody of her children, Nina said Curtis with a chuckle. Curtis advised Nina speak with someone who had influence on Michael, so she left to do just that. Curtis called Drew into his office. "You're blackmailing my wife," he remarked when Drew arrived. Willow was amazed by Isaiah's dance talents in the practice hall for the nurses' ball. Isaiah addressed Willow as Nurse Corinthos, so she informed him that she wouldn't be Nurse Corinthos for much longer because she had a court date for her divorce and custody dispute. Willow reverted to cult mode, telling Isaiah that she had complete faith in Drew, and that he would not stop her from obtaining custody. Drew was set up. "A judge will see that," Willow said. Willow stated she regretted how things ended with Michael. "But I'm finally where I'm supposed to be with Drew," she went on. Isaiah asked Willow how she saw her life after the legal dispute being concluded. "In an ideal world, Michael would understand that our children belong with their mother," says Willow. She also believed that Drew would be an excellent father for Michael's children. Isaiah was likewise astonished to learn that Willow was seeking sole custody. Willow described what happened in Germany. "When he refused to see me, it sent a really clear message. I have to protect my children and my custody of them," Willow told me. Ava stopped by Portia's workplace for a talk. Portia showed her a piece she had read about Drew in the Port Charles Herald. "I must say, when the story broke, I had to wonder, was this your handiwork?" Ava was curious. Portia pointed out that whoever attempted to take Drew down had failed. Ava didn't think people believed Drew's claim about being set up. "That poor deluded Willow might believe him, but I don't think anyone else does," she remarked. Portia bemoaned that Drew was attacking her more than ever. "His latest demands are impossible and ridiculous," Portia said, citing Drew's commands that she recruit Curtis to run against Laura for mayor. "Well, Drew thinks that everybody is as easy to manipulate as Willow," Ava properly observed. Portia agreed, pointing out that Curtis and Laura were friends, therefore he would never go for it. Ava also alerted Portia that Drew's documentary crew was following Trina around the gallery. Portia began to cry at the thought of Drew being engaged in Trina's life in any way. "You know, I don't hate anybody, but I truly hate Drew Kane," she told me. Ava advised Portia to tell Curtis the truth. Portia was still not sure. "You got in over your head. It happens. But you can still fix this. Curtis can help you get out of it," Ava remarked. But Portia was confident Curtis would never forgive her. "If Curtis finds out that I lied to him again, my marriage is over," Portia yelled as Isaiah passed by her office and overheard his boss's furious remarks. Tracy met Drew in the Q boathouse and inquired as to how he had gotten on the property. "I drove over with my new boat," Drew explained. "Of course you did. How nautical of you," Tracy told the former Navy SEAL, who is not supposed to remember his time in the service. Drew wanted to discuss their strategy to bring down Sunny. Tracy didn't like how Ezra Boyle was a piece in getting rid of Sunny puzzle. Tracy was certain they could pass the referendum without removing Laura from office. Sorry, Tracy, if you truly want Sunny gone, Mayor Collins has got to be collateral damage. Drew informed you. Tracy asked Drew if Laura was ever soft on Sunny as mayor. Drew claimed it was all about appearances. Tracy responded with the right question. I'm sorry, are there photographs of Laura doing body shots off a hooker on top of a bar somewhere that I missed? Drew insisted once more that he had been drugged, but Tracy was more concerned about Laura, whom she described as a friend. Drew didn't care since they needed to get rid of Sunny, their common enemy. Drew also reiterated his demands. He wanted the Q name restored, as well as access to the Q grounds. Tracy drew the line. She notified her wayward nephew that Monica was in charge of the Q estate. Get back on your damn barge. This is Monica's property, she said, before adding in an adorable and sarcastic tone, Alan gave it to her. Tracy rushed away but Drew stayed. Sunny returned Donna to Carly's house after her nurse's ball rehearsal. Donna informed Carly about Gio playing the violin for her. When Donna left to do her schoolwork, Carly ensured that Sunny was taking care of himself. Sunny was optimistic, so Carly decided to tear him down. Well, I hate to ruin your good mood, but since you're here, there's something I need to tell you, she added. Should I take my pills? Sunny said calmly. Carly tells Sunny that she had Diane request a court date for Michael's divorce, and they received one sooner than anticipated. Carly said that this was what Michael desired, when he could be there and stand up in person. Not now, a visibly irritated Sunny stated. Carly pledged to handle the situation herself. Well, that was a mistake, Sunny said. He asked Michael if he was aware of his court date. Carly informed him that Michael was unaware. Trust me, I've got this, Carly said. She explained that Diane planned to argue that Drew's antics at the Savoy made him a danger to Willow's children, so Diane would take Carly into emergency custody. Sunny cautioned Carly that it seemed easier said than done. Carly felt confident she could win. Those kids are going to come home with me and they're going to stay with me until their father comes home, Carly told me. Sunny was still not pleased. This was Michael's life and his family. He's not going to thank you for making decisions about his life without his permission, Sunny told him. Carly didn't care what Sunny said. Her mind was made up. Sunny warned his ex-wife that this could backfire against her. Cody sat in the coffee shop with Lulu stunned. Wait a minute, you think that the baby Brooklyn got pregnant with that summer is Gio? He inquired. Just then Gio and Brooklyn entered. Gio heard his name but Cody stepped in for him and Lulu, telling him they were discussing the issue with Rocco. Gio apologized to Lulu for what had transpired. It's a good thing Gio got Rocco back to the boathouse. Otherwise Cody wouldn't have found him, Brooklyn said before she and Gio left to get coffee. Gio thanked Brooklyn for advocating for him. He revealed that he had been avoiding individuals at the QS, including Olivia and Dante. Brooklyn promised Gio that everything would return to normal soon. They went to Cody and Lulu's table before departing. Lulu noticed Brooklyn gushing over Gio and boasting about his impending nurse's ball performance. When they left, Lulu said to Cody, I rest my case. Cody wasn't convinced. No offense, but when it comes to Gio and Brooklyn, I think you're seeing what you want to see, Cody was saying. Lulu disagreed. Everything in my gut tells me that Gio is Brooklyn and Dante's son, she claimed, admitting she couldn't be certain Brooklyn recognized this. Cody was still unsure if Gio was Brooklyn's son, but he was eager to help Lulu prove it. Joe's so-called mother, cousin Camilla. She's the key, Lulu said. We need to find out where she was and what she was doing the day that Gio gave birth. When Brooklyn and Gio returned to the Q house, Gio and Rocco met in the kitchen. Gio, I want to apologize. I put you in a really bad position that night and I'm sorry, stated Rocco. Gio sought to accept some of the blame, but Rocco refused. Rocco also disliked the fact that Dante was still angry. He needs to understand that you helped get me back here. I'm really grateful to you for that. You helped me and I'm sick of you being blamed. None of this was your fault and I'm so sorry, stated the sincere man. Brooklyn told Gio after Rocco left the kitchen that she was proud of him for the way he spoke to him. Gio was still furious because Dante was mad at him. Brooklyn waved it off, claiming Dante was only concerned about Rocco. Everyone is trying to tell me that Dante was just worried about his kid, but that doesn't mean he doesn't feel the way he feels about me, because he made it perfectly clear that he has no use for me, and I'm good with that.